WABC-TV, New York.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Bambi, Lynn, Finney.
Number two.
My name is Bambi, Lynn, Finney.
And number three.
My name is Bambi, Lynn, Finney.
Only one of these people is the real Bambi, Lynn, Finney and has sworn to tell the truth. Now, let's meet our panel. From New York's Channel 7 Eyewitness News, Joel Siegel, creator and star of Upstairs, Downstairs, Gene Marsh, the host of the match game, Gene Rayburn, and the toast of To Tell the Truth, Kitty Carlisle, and that's our panel. And here's the host of To Tell the Truth, Robin Ward.
Thank you, and welcome. And panel, you are looking marvelous tonight.
Thank you.
Now, are you ready?
There.
Hello there. Are you ready to play?
Let's have a go at it,
Then
shall
let's
we?
get right down to the problem presented by our first team of challengers, all of whom claim to be Bambi, Lynn, Finney. And panel, if you'd be so good as to follow along as I read this affidavit. I, Bambi, Lynn, Finney, was discharged from the Marine Corps for posing in the nude for Playboy magazine. As soon as my issue hit the Pentagon, I was notified that I was going to be discharged. I was informed that my honorable discharge was, quote, for the convenience of the Marine Corps, unquote. I never thought they would react as they did. Not only was I nearing the end of my tour of duty, but the girls from the other branches of the armed forces who also posed without clothes were not punished at all. By the way, as a civilian, I've been photographed again. You guessed it, in the nude for Playboy. Signed, Bambi, Lynn, Finney. And let's start the questioning with a man who appreciates the female form in or out of uniform, Mr. Joel Siegel.
I'm very embarrassed. I saw the spread in Playboy, and for the life of me, I don't remember what her face looked like.
Oh, yeah, well, naturally.
That's true. That is true. Number one, what is your rank in the Marine Corps? What was your rank in the Marine Corps?
I was an E5,
Which is called what in the Marines? And it was a...
sergeant.
Uh-oh. Number two, how did the photographer get you to take your clothes off?
He asked.
That's all he had to do? Number three, how did the photographer get you to take your clothes off?
Well, I had worked with him for 2 days, so on the third day I felt more comfortable. So we were outdoors and, you know, seemed pretty natural.
Number one, what did he tell you?
Take them off.
That's it? Number three, were you paid for this?
Yeah.
How much?
I was paid $750 for the first time.
And number one, how much were you paid?
$850.
Number two, do you have any idea what kind of...
I know this is fascinating, Joel, but that's it. And we move to Gene Marsh.
Number two, who is the photographer? The name of the photographer?
Nicholas DeSauce.
Nicholas DeSauce. Number three, same photographer for you?
Yes.
And number one?
No, mine was Raimi.
Raimi?
Yes.
Number one, how did the photographer actually find you?
Well, he was with Playboy, and I actually wrote to the magazine, and they arranged from there on.
I see. Number three, how did the photographer find you?
I saw the spread in the magazine and that they were using military girls, so we were talking and I got the idea that it would be fun to do.
And number two, how did the photographer find you, or you find the photographer?
I wrote to them.
You wrote to them? And what happened?
They wrote back.
And I don't think you said, how much did you get paid for it?
$750.
Thank you, Gene. Now we go to Gene Rayburn.
Yes, number three, do you happen to know what street the famous Playboy mansion is on in Chicago?
In Chicago, it's on, it's right near the Lake Michigan there.
Thank you. Number one, what's the name of the editor of Playboy magazine, or the owner, the founder?
Oh, Hugh Hefner.
And number two, do you know that you have a famous namesake named Bambi Lynn?
Who?
You ever heard of it, Bambi Lynn, before you?
There's a dancer.
And number three, did you know in advance that this was going to be a nude spread?
Yes, I knew about that. I didn't know there'd be such a big flack about it from the...
Yeah, well, number 3, what was the real reason the Marine Corps was displeased?
It's the Marines.
What's that?
The Marines.
Thank you, Jean. And we go to Kitty.
I never heard such a question. Of course they were displeased. Number 1, how nude were you?
There's nothing wrong with the nude body, Kitty. The nude body is a beautiful thing.
Not if you're
I
a
will
Marine.
show you the nude body.
No. How nude were you? I mean, were you on your tummy, or were you on your back, or
I was standing, nude.
standing facing the camera?
Yes.
In the sort of outdoors?
Well, I had props.
What did you have?
A bikini top. And
A what?
A bikini top and a shirt. And
Well, then you weren't all nude. Or you were just holding
No,
them?
I was nude, yes.
I
It was
see.
natural pose.
Oh, I see. Number 2, why was it just you that got into trouble?
It's the Marines.
No, you said there were other girls who were in the Marine Corps who did the same thing and who were not into trouble.
The other services.
Oh, and the other services. Number 3, why just the Marines then? Why do you think they're stricter?
Well, the Marines have that reputation, and they always tend to be more strict than the other services as far as their...
Thank you. Number 1, did you know when you did this was
That,
gonna... Oh,
excuse me, Kitty, that little bell tells us that the time is up. And now, of course, it's time to vote for number 1, for number 2, or for number 3. Whoever, in your opinion, is the real Bambi Lynn Finney. They will pay $100 for each incorrect vote. And if the panel is completely fooled by our team of challengers, they will win $500. I hear frantic scribbling. Are the ballots all marked, panel? Is that a yes on that? Okay,
Yes, it
Joel
is.
Siegel, for whom did you vote?
I'm voting for number 3. She seemed to know more about the service than the other 2, but I'm going to have to start looking at the faces in Playboy. I really am.
Why change patterns of a lifetime, Joel? Okay, Jean Marsh, who did you vote for?
I voted for number 1 because I thought the other 2 were underpaid.
And Jean Raven, who got your vote?
Well, I voted for number 2 because I can tell by those lines there, she spent a lot of time in the sun. And you see, the lines would be real white, but she must have done a lot of sunbathing without those strings there that hold up the upper frontals.
Thank you, Jean. And Kitty, who did you vote
I voted for number 1. I think she's a nice, big, strong girl, and you have to be a nice, big, strong girl to be in the Marines.
Okay, the votes are all in. Now we're going to find out which of these charming ladies is the real ex-Marine and Playboy model. Will the real Bambi Lynn Finney please stand up? Let's find out who our imposters are. Number 1, you did very, very well. You got 2 votes. Could you tell us who you are and what you do, please?
Yes, my name is Marianne Horwath. I'm originally from Uniontown, Pennsylvania. I'm now living in New York City, and I'm graduating from FIT.
And number 3, you got 1 vote. Would you tell us about yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Diane Kettering, and I'm from South Dakota, a big farm. And I'm now living in New York, working for the O'Neill's restaurants as a hostess.
Where's that? Okay, there were 3 incorrect votes at $100 each, giving our team of challengers $300. Thanks for playing our game. What restaurant was that again? Oh. And we'll see 2 of you on To Tell the Truth one-on-one very shortly. Thank you. And we, of course, will be back right after these words from our sponsor.
There's no white like Plus White. With its dual-action anti-stain polishers, Plus White whitens like no ordinary toothpaste can.
There's no white like Plus White.
No wrinkle cream or moisturizer can do this, no matter what they cost. Only Sudden Change Under Eye can remove the appearance of wrinkles and puffiness in minutes. Sudden Change Under Eye.
Curls won't hold? Hair too fine and limp? Get Hold That Curl. The first spray just to hold curls to last and stay soft and full. Hold those curls with Hold That Curl.
Remember when a candy bar used to cost a dime? Nowadays, it seems like you have to use a credit card to pay for just about everything. Unfortunately, credit cards are getting more and more homeowners in trouble. But the Money Store can help you consolidate all of your high-rate credit cards and other loans into one low monthly payment. All it takes is just one phone call, and you could be on your way to saving hundreds each month. You can't buy a candy bar for a dime anymore, but you can call the Money Store toll-free at 1-800-LOAN-YES.
Every day, people like you and me are proving why the psychic solution is so popular. See for yourself.
She said that she sensed that there was someone older in my family that was ill. I do have a grandmother that's in the hospital, but not to worry because she was going to pull through. I mean, that's totally amazing.
The best way I could put it is like talking to an old and dear friend.
And she was really understanding, and she was really there for me, and that's what I needed.
She doesn't even know me, you know, and I didn't say anything to her. We kind of just took to each other.
I'm in a real bad relationship now, and she said, try another path. I think I'll keep in touch with her, and she'll keep giving me good advice.
My husband-to-be, my family's having a bit of problems accepting him. Today she told me that I basically need to go with my instincts on this one, and, you know, my parents will just come around.
I don't know why I waited so long to call her in the first place.
You don't have to wait for us to come to town. Join the fun now by calling for your free sample reading.
Call 1-800-713-4947.
You may be cheating yourself. When you buy the video Jumanji, you pay for great pictures. You also pay for great sound. Big Hollywood surround sound. It's even on your favorite TV shows. But if you don't have Sony Maximum Television, you're not hearing it. Isn't it time you get everything you pay for? Maximum Television, only from Sony.
First times are always the best. Remember your first kiss? Your child's first steps? Who can forget the first man on the moon?
It's one small step for man.
So, who's on first? Game Show Network is. Ring in the new year with first episodes of your favorite game shows and see why the best time is the first time. Make it to first. When? January 1st, of course, from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern.
We are back, panel, and let's meet our next team of challengers.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Roger Reynolds.
Number 2.
My name is Roger Reynolds.
And number 3.
My name is Roger Reynolds.
All right, panel, if you would once again follow along as I read. I, Roger Reynolds, am a former member of the U.S. Army's parachute team, the Golden Knights. I'd made over 900 jumps, but in 1974, I experienced a living nightmare when my chutes failed to open properly, and I fell 2,800 feet to earth. I smashed down at 85 miles an hour, breaking every major bone on my left side. I spent 16 months in the hospital, and doctors thought I'd never walk again, but I did, and more. Within 2 weeks of my release, I'd made another jump and gotten a pilot's license. Since then, I've continued to skydive and have run in 3 consecutive Boston marathons. Currently, I am planning a mountain climbing trip to the Himalayas. Signed, Roger Reynolds. Now, panel, these 3 gentlemen all claim to be the brave Roger Reynolds, former member of the Army's Golden Knight parachute team. And let's start the questioning with Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you. Number 1, how many feet in a mile?
5,820.
And number 2, what did you fall into?
I fell through a tree.
Huh?
Through a tree.
Through a tree. Oh, and number 3, what kind of a tree?
It was a big oak tree they had in Virginia.
And number 2, when you came, well, how long did it take you before you came to?
I was never unconscious.
Oh. Well, number 1, when the chute didn't open, by the way, who packed your chute?
I did.
Well, why didn't it open then? What did you do wrong?
Well, I had 3 chutes with me, and the first chute fouled. And in trying to clear that first chute, I was not able to get it completely cleared. So when I opened the second one, it wrapped around and fouled the second chute as well.
Number 3, what did you think about when you were falling? Is it true that your whole life passes in front of your eyes, as they say?
Yes, it did.
You were very young. You didn't have much of a life. But what did pass in front of your eyes?
I thought about something in the past, probably being home with my mom and dad.
You always think about your mother when you're dying. Isn't that interesting?
Thank you, Kitty. And we move along the line to Joel Siegel.
Number 1, what did you think about when you were going down?
Well, in the first couple of seconds, I was worried about clearing the first chute. And when I released the second chute on my right side and realized that it was fouled, my life at that point passed in front of me. It was only a matter of about 14 seconds till I hit the ground.
Number 2, we see in all these Army movies, they push you out of the plane, you gotta count to 10 before you pull the ripcord. Is that true?
It's not true, no. I mean, we pull almost as soon as we leave the plane.
That's what I would do. I wouldn't leave the plane. Number 1, do you get special pay from the Army for being a member of the parachute jumping team?
No, sir.
Number 2, where do you jump as a member of the Golden Knights?
All over the country, all over the world.
How many members are there, number 2?
52.
Number 3.
And we move along to Jean Marsh.
Number 2, what was the name of the hospital that you were in for 16 months?
McCormick General.
And you were in the same hospital all the time?
No, they moved me to Fort Bragg after 6 months.
Number 3, what was the name of the main surgeon who put you together again?
Dr. Frank McHugh.
Number 1, what was the name of your main surgeon who mended
Dr.
you?
O'Brien.
Dr. O'Brien. And what hospital were you in?
Charlottesville, Virginia.
Charlottesville, Virginia. And were you there the whole 16 months?
No, I was not.
Do you have any residue complaints from it? Any illnesses?
None.
Number 2, have you made a total recovery?
Yes.
And number 3, and you?
Absolutely.
You have no ill effects after number 3?
Oh, maybe if it's cold outside, I'll get a little bit stiff in the joints, but other than that, there's nothing.
Number 3, have you ever done free falling?
Yes, in fact, on the Golden Knights, that's all we did.
Well, why when you...
Thank you, Jean, and we go to Jean Rayburn.
Number 3, you were at 2,800 feet when you left the plane?
Yes.
And number 3, spending so much time in the hospital and with doctors, you must have learned a little bit about some of the body functions and names of the bones and all that. Do you know what the tibia is?
Yes, that's your shin bone.
And what about the fibula?
That's the bone right next to it.
Did you break those, both of those?
Yes, I did.
Yes. Number 2, you know what the periosteum is?
No, I don't.
And number 2, did you know the parachute jumpers during World War II, do you know why the majority of them enlisted? Can you tell us that?
Oh, it's action. It's excitement.
They like the action and excitement. Number 1, what is the terminal velocity of a free-falling body?
About 120 miles an hour.
And number 3, did you land in a tree also?
I came down through the edge of a tree, but I landed in a doctor's front yard.
And what did you hit? What did you hit?
I landed right in his yard, just right there.
You hit the ground? Wait a minute, I'm not finished
That
yet.
little bell, unfortunately, though, Gene, we have to move along. That little bell tells us the time is up. It's a fascinating story, but now it's time to vote for number 1, number 2, or for number 3. Whoever, in your opinion, is the incredible Roger Reynolds. Now, once again, we pay $100 for each incorrect vote, and 4 incorrect votes will bring our team of challengers $500. Are the ballots all marked?
Yes.
Then, Joel Siegel, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 2 on a hunch. The 3 of them were terrific. And just picked number 2. He seemed to know more about the Golden Knights.
And Jean Marsh, who did you vote for?
Well, I voted for number 2 because I think he looks just a bit wilder and crazier than the others, that's all.
And Jean Rayburn, who got your vote?
Listen, I wanted to vote for number 3 because he sits there so laconic. Yeah, and then he lost me when he said I fell in a yard, a doctor's yard on top of it now. If you're going to fall, you wouldn't fall in a doctor's yard. I hit the ground because he wouldn't be here to tell about it. So I had to go with number 2 also.
Number 2. And Kitty, who did you vote
They
for?
were all wonderful. Number 3 gave marvelous answers. Number 2 said he didn't know what the periosteum was, and I figured you made that up.
No, I didn't.
So I voted for number 2, although number 1 was lovely.
Another number 2 vote. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, we're going to find out which of these people is the Golden Knight whose parachute failed to open. Will the real Roger Reynolds please stand up? Okay, this was incredible. Let's find out who our imposters are. Number 1, would you tell us who you are and what you do, please?
My name is Don Saul. I'm a Xerox sales representative here in New York City.
And number 2, you are amazing. You have a great career in some other field. I'm not sure what it is. You got 4 of the votes. You got the entire panel completely fooled. Would you tell us who you are and what you do?
My name is David Lockwood. I'm an economist for Pan American World Airways.
Okay, you won the jackpot. There were 4 incorrect votes, giving our team of challengers who were remarkable $500 to spend as they will. And thanks for being with us on our game. And we'll see 2 of you on To Tell the Truth one-on-one. And we'll be back after these words from our sponsor. Take the bill.
Hello, I'm Esther Rowe. When I'm faced with a tough decision, I look for something that can point me in the right direction. Everyone looks for signs, but when you need real guidance, there's one place you can call anytime, the Spiritual Psychic Helpline.
It works. Just speaking to my psychic counselor puts me in a good mood.
If you're faced with a tough decision, even if you've never talked to a psychic before, the helpline can lead you to a happier life.
We never talked to a psychic before. It brought us back together.
If you're not sure, then try this. A personal psychic consultation, free when you call now.
When I made that free call, it changed my life.
Whether you have problems with a relationship or just need advice, your psychic counselor can help. The call and the consultation are free, so there's nothing to lose. Ease your state of mind. Call the Spiritual Psychic Helpline.
24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Your baby is stuck in a stuffy diaper. Unfortunately, other diapers aren't designed to breathe, not even cloth-like ones. Here's the first diaper that is. New Breathable Pampers Premium. Made with airflow material along the sides, Breathable Pampers Premium is designed to let air flow in without letting wetness leak out. It helps keep your baby's skin dry and healthy, which is truly a breath of fresh air. Pediatricians know air helps keep skin healthy, so Pampers created the first breathable diaper. Make them happy. Keep them dry. New Breathable Pampers Premium.
Panel, we are back, and it's time to play one-on-one. And here are 4 people that you've met before. Now, panel, you remember Marianne and Diane, who pretended to be the ex-Marine and Playboy model, and Donald and David, who pretended to be parachutist Roger Reynolds. Now, you've met these people before, but there's one fact about one of them that we have withheld from you until this very moment. One of these 4 people is a world champion at a specific parlor game. And it's up to you to find out which one and which game. Now, here's how you go about it. You will each have 20 seconds to question the person sitting directly opposite you. At the end of that time, you will be asked right there and then to cast your vote for that person as to whether they are the world champion, parlor champion. World champion, that was redundant. We will pay $100 for each incorrect vote, and once again, $500 for 4 incorrect votes. Now, Kitty, are you ready to question Marianne one-on-one?
Yes, Marianne, you fooled me once before. What is your parlor game?
Parcheesi.
Oh, you play with little bitty things? Is that tiddlywinks?
No.
What's
no.
Parcheesi? What does it go? How is it? Quick.
There's a board.
On a board, and
4
you have
players.
Yeah. And where did you win?
In Las Vegas.
And how many were you?
6.
Only 6 players from all over the world?
No, there's 6 other components. Excuse me.
Kitty, is Marianne the world champion Parcheesi player, yes or no?
She fooled me once, but she's not the Parcheesi player.
That's a no on that.
No.
Gene, are you ready to question Diane
I'm ready for Diane.
Then start now.
Yes. Would you play this game in my parlor?
Sure, why not?
Okay, let's go. The heck with this. Listen, what is your game?
Pick up sticks.
Pick up sticks. Now, how many sticks are there in an average box of pick-up sticks?
There's 72.
And how long did it take you to pick up the 72 sticks?
The average time is between 10 and 13 minutes.
And where was the competition held?
Gene, is Diane the pick-up sticks champion, yes or no?
Sure.
That's a yes on that.
Sure, she's the champ.
Move along. Gene, are you ready to question Donald one-on-one?
Yes. Donald, what is your game, your parlor game? Jacks. Can you tell me how you play it?
Well, you play with 10 jacks and a ball. And there were contestants from all over the country who came and played the game.
How old were you when you first played it?
Excuse me?
How old were you when you first played it?
19.
And who taught you?
I learned in a bar room.
In a bar room? Absolutely outrageous. So you were in a bar and people just taught it to you?
Yes, just fooling around while drinking.
Gene, is Donald the world champion jacks player, yes or no?
No.
That's another no. Or, yes, that's another no. Joel, are you ready to question David one-on-one?
I'm ready.
Then start now.
What's your game, David?
Tiddlywinks.
Tiddlywinks. Where did you go to college?
MIT.
Did you play as part of the MIT have a Tiddlywinks team?
Yes, that's where I started playing.
Is the big one a tiddly or is the big one a wink?
The big one is a squidger.
Is a squidger?
Yes.
And what's the object of the game?
Well, there's more strategy to it than when you did when you were a child. And most of the game's involved in not putting it in the cup, but rather getting on top of your opponents.
The other guys. What color do you...
Time is up, Joel. Did David win the world champion Tiddlywinks
Believe it or
competition?
not, I'm going to say yes. Yeah.
For Tiddlywinks.
Okay. Okay, the votes are all in. Will the real world's champion in whatever please stand up?
Stand up, Diane.
Stand up, David. Come on,
Diane,
David.
stand up.
There was one incorrect vote, giving you only $100. Hope you have a nice dinner on that. Thank you for playing To Tell the Truth one-on-one. And we, of course, will be back right after these momentous words from the people up there.
The Money Store, where America goes for money, is one of the sponsors of Race for the Numbers, the interactive game between game shows, weeknights during prime time, here on Game Show Network.
People are talking to people. They'll simply say it. You won't believe it.
You can believe it. Sprint's great dime-a-minute rate just got better. Not just a little better. No way. Sprint said,
let's give them something to talk about.
and this is it. Call for Sprint Cents and you'll pay just 10 cents a minute, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to the number you call most often. So call now and start talking. And when you sign up for Sprint Cents, there's no confusion about what you're paying. It's always just 10 cents a minute on all your other state-to-state calls to anywhere in the country. Every evening, every night, and all weekend long.
Let's give them something to talk about.
On top of that, you'll get 10% cash back after your first year with Sprint. So call now. Get 10 cents a minute all day to the number you call most. Call now.
1-800-913-9719.
A friend of mine told me, try America Online. I said, why? I've got a computer. He said, try it. You'll see. It's simple. Every time you sign on, welcome. It tells you if you've got mail. You've got mail. Want to send some email? Type the message, click here, and it's done. I like this. With one click, I can browse all kinds of great features on America Online. I've gotten help with my golf swing, planned my next vacation. I even get stock price updates every 15 minutes. America Online has over 100 newspapers and magazines, everything from Business Week Online to Cycle World, and I can browse them all. With America Online, you can point and click your way across the internet. And their web browser makes it easy to explore the World Wide Web. Call the toll-free number and you'll receive your free startup kit and 50 free hours to look around. It's worth a try. You'll see.
Try the new America Online. Call 1-800-596-3838 for your free startup kit and 50 free hours. Call now.
At CGM Mutual Fund, our emphasis is on performance. Over a 15-year period, CGM Mutual Fund has outperformed major benchmarks, including the Lipper Balanced Fund Average. And CGM Mutual Fund far outpaced the Consumer Price Index as well. CGM Mutual Fund is committed to outstanding long-term performance. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. Call 1-800-CGM-INFO for a prospectus. CGM Mutual Fund.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Panel, it's been a pleasure as always.
Splendid.
And
Thank you.
Hope you can join us next time at the same time for To Tell the Truth. So long, everybody. Thank you.
Today's imposters will receive Heat Wave. Powerful instant heater heats and circulates room air without dangerous red-hot coils. Heat Wave by Intermatic Incorporated. And 6 tickets to the Ice Follies and Holiday on Ice shows. Now combined to bring you the greatest spectacular on ice. Ice Follies and the Holiday on Ice combined shows. And long grain and wild rice siroli. A perfect blend of long grain and wild rices, herbs, and spices. Wild rice siroli, the San Francisco treat. It's wild. Also complete from Johnson Wax. Cleans and polishes all kinds of furniture without leaving a greasy film to streak or smear. is Alan Calder speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.
You're watching Game Show Network. Talks about To Tell the Truth.
We had some very funny moments. We had 3 people on who were supposed to be decoy cops. And when the reveal came, Gary Moore said, will the real decoy cop please stand up? No! And the second one, he said, well, number 2, will you please stand up and say, what do you do?
My name is Chris Hart, and my mother is the charming panelist, Kitty Carlisle.
Get in on the fun. Watch Game Show Network.